Yo, it's Trent. Hope everyone's having a good day, good weekend so far. Make sure you sub, share, like, comment, all that. Check out my other videos, and we got the lice story time. So first of all, this is like, I don't know, over 10 years ago. I think about 12 years ago, I was 8 or 9. I had just moved, right? Me and my family, I was like 8 years old, halfway through the school year, right? Like around Christmas time, that's like halfway. That's when we moved, right? So I move elementary schools, come to this new school, all new people, right? And I was there for probably 2 weeks before this happened. Like I met everybody, and I hadn't really, like, I had maybe one or two friends, but I hadn't really established myself as anything. Everyone just kind of knew me as like the new kid or quiet, right? And you know, when you're a little kid, like if something happens, that's what you're known for a good amount of time. Like, let's say a kid like had a bloody nose or peed himself, or there's this kid I knew, right, in like third grade. He dropped a pair of scissors and it like went into his foot or something, or he dropped something that hurt his foot. And that's like, I still think of that kid, like if I think of scissors, you know what I mean? Like those kinds of things. So when this lice thing happened, I was the lice kid, so that's what we gotta talk about. So first of all, I don't even know how you get it. Maybe it's from not washing your hair enough. I don't know, right? But I had a lot shorter hair than I have now. This is the longest hair I've ever had, right? Back then, I always would do like, I would grow my hair out to like maybe where it would get close to my eyes, and then it would be a buzz cut when I was a little kid, right? And I usually didn't want a buzz cut because I had a bald spot, but I didn't care. I was a little kid. That was like my parents deciding for me, right? So I'm at school this one day, and I can still remember the people I was sitting next to. There was this kid that ended up being good at basketball, right? He didn't play at the time because we're little kids. We're like 9 years old or 10 maybe. But little kids, this other girl was in my class. Her birthday was like the day before mine. And the only other reason I knew her was because one time I got in trouble in class and had to go sit in the hallway. Same thing happened to this girl, or she was going to the bathroom or something, right? We sat there. She talked to me about all these boy bands at the time. Like, I think it was One Direction, and there was another one. I just can't remember what it's called. The one that has like the SOS in its name. You know what I'm talking about? But we were talking about boy band. Well, not really talking about it. I was just listening. I was in trouble, right? So those were the people at my like table inside of school. So I knew both of them, and no one was really mean to me at that table. There was a couple kids that, like, you know, new kid bully the new kid, whatever, but not those people, right? So I come into school on this day, and I remember my head had been itching. I don't remember for how long, but it definitely like itched, you know what I mean? And I knew what lice was, but I wasn't thinking about it, or I was like, no way I have it, you know? And so I'm a little kid, and I remember I keep saying that. I don't know why, but just to throw it out that I was like not aware of these things. And there wasn't a movie, but there was a video on the screen. You know, we were watching some math video or something, right? And I'm sitting there and my head really itches, and I'm like, man, what is that, right? And I'm itching my head and I feel like a bump. And I'm itching over here and I feel like a little bump, right? And I remember I was itching it, and I had a thought in my head, hey, if I just itch this bump off, like, then nothing will be itchy, right? Because it's a little kid, you know, way of thinking, but you get what I'm saying. I'm just like, oh, I feel this little thing, like, let me just pick it off, right? So that's exactly what I did. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, pop, right? I feel something like come off, and I'm like, oh, that feels a lot better, right? And I felt another one over here, so I start itching it, and I pop that one off, right? And I look down, and I see this little bug crawling, right? And at first I thought it was an ant, or I thought it was like a gnat, right? You know, like when you're a kid, maybe it's a Midwest thing, maybe it's everywhere, right? Like I'm sure they have them in like Louisiana, like places like that, like swampy places. But gnats, they're like little bugs. They're the most annoying thing ever. They don't bite you, but like if you're a little kid or just a kid in general and you're outside playing, you most likely know what those are. They swarm in like those tiny little groups, and it's like white little bugs, and you walk into them and it's like, you know, they just buzz. It's annoying, right? And so I thought it was those. I'm looking at those, and the girl, the same one that gave me like the boy band test, or she was talking to me about it, right? She's like, what is that? Those are bugs, right? And it was the kid who played basketball. He was the only one that knew what it was, right? He looks at it and he's like, that's lice. You have lice, right? And he starts yelling that. He's like, he has lice, he has lice. So now everybody in the class is looking at me. I'm sitting there like, oh no, I have lice, like me? And I'm looking at the bugs, and the teacher comes over, right? And I remember the teacher coming over, and she started messing with my hair. Like, she started looking at it, and she looked at it for maybe like 10 seconds, and she just kind of picked me up. She's like, come on, we need to go to the nurse. You need to go to the nurse, right? And she walked me there a little bit, but I knew which way to go. She was like, just walk down there, go to the nurse, right? So I go to the nurse. And I remember I used to always try to get out of school by saying I had a stomach ache or my head hurt or something. So she always knew when I went to the nurse I was trying to leave, right? So she was already on edge when I got there, the nurse lady. She was like, oh, what's the problem this time, Trent? And I was like, I have lice. And she was like, oh, are you sure about that? And she went to check, you know, because she for sure thought I was messing around, which I don't blame her. It's like the boy who cries wolf. You know, if I keep saying something's wrong, nothing's wrong, they're not going to believe me. So she goes and she checks, and I could hear the panic in her voice. I don't think she was like, oh shit, you know, I don't think she swore in front of me, but she definitely was surprised. She was like, oh, honey, what is this? Or something, you know, she's like, what is this? She starts messing with my hair. She's using a comb thing, and there is bugs in my hair, right? So then I'm freaked out. I'm scared. I'm like, okay, there are literal bugs in my hair. And I, like I said, I knew what lice was, but I wasn't like fully aware of it. And I just got scared. I was like, man, I'm terrified, right? So then I get picked up from school, right? And I don't know if we went to the doctor or what we did, right? But I remember someone going through my hair with a comb and picking things out, and then I had to shave my head again, right? So I shaved my head, and then for the next, God, maybe 3 months was left of school, or 4 months. The whole rest of the year I was known as just Lice Kid, right? And the next year, I finally got that nickname to go away because I had a couple other, like, altercations or things that happened. But, dude, let me tell you, that was one of the worst feelings ever. Now, anytime my head itches, like, over here or back here, I immediately think, like, oh, no, what if I have lice again, right? Because it was, like, the scariest, not scary, but something was definitely wrong when I was sitting there itching. When I watched the bug fall out and I looked at it, and I just, like, kind of put it together, like there were bugs in my hair, like it freaked me out, dude. I did not like that. It also could have been because I played so many sports. At the time I was playing baseball, I was a catcher, and we all shared a helmet, so like some other kid could have had it. I put on the baseball helmet. It could have been anything like that, right? Like I played a lot of sports. It could have been my football helmet. I played hockey. It could have been my hockey helmet. You get what I'm saying? There was a lot of ways I could have gotten it, but I hope it wasn't me just being dirty. But okay. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you sub, share, like, comment. Check out my other videos. But that's the lice story time. And I'm going to be live streaming either some Madden or some Fortnite after this. So if you're watching this and, you know, you want to chat, you want to talk, ask questions, whatever, hit me up. And if you ever need anything, my bio's in the my Instagram bio is in the YouTube, so just hit me up. I'll always answer. But thanks for watching. Be safe and peace out.